Stop. Before you keep scrolling, before you keep moving, before you keep doing whatever you were doing, I need you to hear something. Something that most people will never realize about themselves. Something so deeply buried inside your daily thinking that you've mistaken it for your own voice. You have opinions right now, beliefs, values, standards for yourself and for others. You think those came from you. You think you built them. You think you decided them. But what if you didn't? What if the voice in your head telling you what's possible, what's acceptable, what you deserve? What if that voice was never yours to begin with? What if your mind has been quietly occupied, slowly colonized by the opinions, the fears, and the limitations of people who were never qualified to shape you? This is not a metaphor. This is psychology. And today, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show you 7 undeniable signs that your mind has been colonized by someone else's opinions. 7 signs that the person running your life from the inside isn't actually you. And once you see them, once you really see them, you cannot unsee them. But before we begin, let me be clear about something. This is not about blaming the people who shaped you. This is about recognizing what happened so you can take your mind back. This is about breaking the invisible chains that have been deciding your ceiling, limiting your ambition, and keeping you smaller than you were ever meant to be. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My mind belongs to me. Let's begin. Number 1. You argue against your own dreams before anyone else gets the chance. Here's a question that will hit harder than you expect. When you think about something you truly want, a business, a relationship, a life that looks completely different from the one you have now, what's the very first thought that follows? For most people, it isn't excitement. It isn't strategy. It isn't a plan. The first thought is a reason why it won't work. You think about the money you don't have, the time you don't have, the connections you don't have. You build the entire prosecution case against your own dream before a single other person even knows you had it. And you call that being realistic. But here's what you need to understand. Realism is not a personality trait. It's a learned defense mechanism. You learn to shoot your dreams down first because someone in your past shot them down for you, repeatedly, consistently, until your brain absorbed the habit and started doing it automatically. Think about where that internal critic came from. Think about the parent who told you to be practical, the teacher who said you weren't the type, the friend who laughed when you said what you really wanted. You didn't create that voice. You inherited it, and now it lives inside you, wearing your face, speaking in your tone, doing their job for free. Carl Jung called this internalized authority, the psychological process by which external voices become internal governors. The people who once limited you don't need to be in the room anymore. You carry them with you. You do the work of their doubts so efficiently that they never have to say a word. The sign that your mind has been colonized isn't that you have doubts. Everyone has doubts. The sign is that your doubts always arrive before your belief, that you argue against yourself with more passion than you argue for yourself, that you have become the most convincing opponent your own ambition has ever faced. Start noticing this. The next time you have an idea and immediately hear a reason it won't work, ask yourself whose voice that actually is, because it might not be yours at all. Number 2, you feel guilty for wanting more. This one is quiet. This one doesn't announce itself. It just sits inside you like a low hum you've learned to ignore. You want more money, but something inside you says that's greedy. You want more space from certain people, but something inside you says that's selfish. You want more from your life than what you currently have. But something inside you says, who do you think you are? That guilt, that specific guilt tied to wanting, is not natural. Children don't feel guilty for wanting things. They want freely, loudly, without apology. The guilt comes later. It gets installed by families who confused humility with self-erasure, by communities that punished ambition as arrogance, by systems that needed you to stay small so they could stay comfortable. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He wrote that the greatest tool of control is not force. It is making the controlled believe that their chains are virtuous. When you feel guilty for wanting more, you are not exercising moral virtue. You are enforcing someone else's control over you from the inside. You have been taught that desire is dangerous, that ambition is selfishness dressed up, that contentment is spiritual, and wanting is shallow. But think about what that belief actually does. It keeps you exactly where you are. It makes you manageable. It makes you predictable. It makes you safe. Not for yourself, but for the people who benefit from you not growing. Here's the truth. Wanting more is not a character flaw. It is evidence that you are built for more. The guilt you feel is not your conscience speaking. It is colonization enforcing its borders. Recognize it, name it, and then want what you want without apologizing for a single second of it. Number 3, you constantly seek validation before you trust your own judgment. Think about the last major decision you made, a real one, something that mattered. How many people did you ask before you trusted yourself to move? 1 person, 5 people, 10. Did you post about it indirectly, hoping someone would respond with the right answer? Did you frame it as a hypothetical so you could gather opinions without admitting you didn't trust your own? Here's what nobody tells you about the need for constant validation. It is not humility. It is not wisdom. It is not collaboration. It is the symptom of a mind that was trained not to trust itself. At some point in your life, someone responded to your instincts with ridicule. Your idea was laughed at. Your feeling was dismissed. Your certainty was called naive, and your brain learned the lesson. Don't trust yourself without external confirmation. Get approval first. Check with others before you commit to what you already know. Over time, this becomes automatic. You second-guess your own perceptions. You doubt your own read on people. You override your gut so many times that eventually your gut stops speaking as loudly. And then one day you realize you don't actually know what you think anymore because you've spent so long outsourcing your judgment to other people. Machiavelli once said, "A wise man ought always to follow the paths beaten by great men and to imitate those who have been supreme." But notice what he did not say. He did not say to follow the opinions of the mediocre people around you. He said, great men. And most of the people whose approval you're seeking are not great. They are scared, they are limited, they are operating from their own colonized minds, offering you the ceiling of their own imagination as if it were wisdom. Trust yourself first. Consult others second. Your instincts were built from your experience, your pain, your observation. That is data. That is real. Stop outsourcing your most valuable asset to people who haven't earned the right to hold it. Number 4, you shrink yourself in the presence of certain people. You know exactly who I'm talking about. There are specific people in your life, maybe a parent, a boss, a partner, an old friend. And when you're around them, something shifts. You get quieter. You choose your words more carefully. You laugh at things that aren't funny. You agree with things you don't believe. You make yourself smaller, softer, less threatening, less visible. And afterward, you feel this low-grade shame that you can't quite name. That is not social adjustment. That is not politeness. That is colonization in real time. It means that person's opinion of you has so much psychological weight that your nervous system restructures your entire presentation to avoid their judgment. You are not showing up as yourself. You are showing up as the version of you that you calculated they would accept. Think about what that costs you. Every time you shrink, you practice smallness. Every time you perform for someone's approval, you train yourself to believe the performance is necessary. You teach your own mind that the real you is not safe to bring into the room. Over enough years, this becomes identity. You forget where the performance ends and you begin. You lose track of what you actually think because you've spent so long thinking about what they think. The most dangerous thing about shrinking is that it becomes invisible to you. You don't notice you're doing it. It feels like wisdom. It feels like knowing how to read the room. But there is a difference between adapting your communication and abandoning your presence. One is intelligence, the other is surrender. Notice who makes you smaller. Notice how you change when they walk in. And then ask yourself, why are you giving that person that much real estate inside your identity? Number 5. Your self-image was built by your worst critics, not your best moments. Ask yourself this honestly. When you think about who you are, your capabilities, your value, your potential, where did that image come from? Most people, if they're honest, will trace it back to criticism, to the teacher who said they weren't smart enough, to the parent who pointed out every flaw and barely acknowledged a single strength, to the relationship that systematically dismantled their confidence until they accepted the smaller version as truth. Here's the brutal psychology of this. Criticism lands harder than praise. It sticks longer. It plays on repeat. One person telling you that you're not good enough can undo 10 people telling you that you are. This is not weakness. This is neuroscience. The brain is wired to prioritize negative information because historically, negative information meant danger. But that wiring gets exploited by people who criticized you carelessly, by voices that were loud and cruel and present during the years when your identity was still being formed. And the result is a self-image built not from your actual capabilities, but from someone else's frustration, insecurity, or cruelty. You are carrying a portrait of yourself painted by people who never saw you clearly, and you have been living inside that portrait as if it were a mirror. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." But what he didn't say, and what you need to hear, is that the most dangerous illusion is the one you have about yourself. When your self-image was built by your critics, you will limit yourself to fit their frame. You will reject opportunities that exceed the portrait. You will sabotage success that contradicts the story. You will unconsciously prove them right because their voice became your internal standard. It is time to build a new portrait, one built from your evidence, your resilience, your moments of real strength, the things you survived that you never get credit for, even from yourself. Number 6, you mistake other people's comfort with your silence for peace. This sign is the most insidious because it doesn't feel like colonization. It feels like maturity. It feels like being the bigger person. It feels like keeping the peace. You stop expressing certain opinions because they make others uncomfortable. You suppress your real reaction because you've learned it causes conflict. You swallow your truth, your frustration, your anger, not because you've processed it, but because other people don't want to deal with it. And you have learned to call that growth. But here's what's actually happening. You have been trained to prioritize other people's emotional comfort over your own psychological truth. You have been conditioned to believe that your authentic expression is the problem, that your voice is too much, your feelings are too intense, your truth is too inconvenient. So you mute yourself, gradually, politely, until silence becomes your default and your real voice becomes a stranger you only hear in the dark. The tragedy is that the people whose comfort you're protecting often don't even notice your silence. They're not thinking about what you're holding. They've simply learned that you will hold it. And they have gotten comfortable with your self-suppression. This is not peace. Peace is the absence of internal conflict. What you have is the absence of external conflict paid for with internal war. Real peace comes from being able to speak your truth and be at rest with the consequences, not from swallowing your truth so others never have to face it. Start noticing every time you stop yourself from saying something real. Notice the calculation. The moment your brain asks, will this upset them, and then overrides your truth based on the answer. That calculation is not yours. It was installed, and it has been running your voice for far too long. Number 7, you define success by a standard you never chose. This is the deepest sign. and it's the one most people carry their entire lives without ever examining it. You have a definition of success somewhere inside you, a picture of what a good life looks like, a set of milestones that feel like they matter, a version of arrival that you're working toward. Now here's the question that changes everything. Who decided that? Who told you that a certain kind of job meant you made it? Who decided that a certain kind of relationship was the goal? Who drew the map you've been following? Because for most people, the answer is not themselves. The map was drawn by parents who wanted something specific from you, by a culture that needed you to produce and consume in a particular pattern, by comparison to people around you who were also following maps they didn't draw. You are running a race toward a finish line that someone else painted. And the cruelest part is this: even when you reach it, it doesn't feel like enough, because it was never your destination. It was theirs. Machiavelli once said, "There is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success than to take the lead in introducing a new order of things." And that new order, the most important one you will ever introduce, is a definition of your own success on your own terms. This requires something most people never do: sitting in silence long enough to hear your own voice separate from all the noise. Asking not what should I want, but what do I actually want when nobody is watching, when nobody is measuring, when nobody is approving. The answer to that question is the first real thought that has ever been entirely yours. And building a life around that answer, that is not selfishness, that is liberation. You've just encountered 7 signs, 7 mirrors. And if even one of them showed you something you recognized, then you already know the truth. Your mind has been colonized. Not because you were weak, not because you were foolish, but because colonization is quiet. It happens during the years when you were too young to defend yourself. It happens through repetition and authority and the slow erosion of self-trust. But here is what matters now. You are not your conditioning. You are not the voices that moved in without your permission. You are not the self-image built by people who never truly saw you. You are not the guilt, the silence, the shrinking, the borrowed definition of success. Those are occupations, and occupations can end. The process of taking your mind back does not happen overnight. It happens one moment of recognition at a time. One decision to trust yourself over the installed doubt. One refusal to shrink in a room that made you small before. One honest answer to the question, is this what I think, or is this what I was taught to think? Start there. Just there. That single question, asked consistently with radical honesty, is the beginning of the only revolution that actually matters. The revolution inside your own mind. Because when your mind is truly yours, when the voice in your head is finally speaking for you instead of against you, everything changes. Your decisions change. Your standards change. Your relationships change. The opportunities you reach for change. And the person you become, the real person, the uncolonized person. That person is more powerful than anything that was ever installed in their place. Now, I want you to drop this final affirmation in the comments. My mind is mine. If this video cracked something open in you, hit that like button. If you want more psychology, more truth, more of the content that most channels are too afraid to make, subscribe and ring the notification bell. And share this with someone who is still living inside someone else's definition of themselves. They need to hear this. Think deeper. Until next time, feel less, know more.